Hello and welcome to a new video about Path of Exile 3.22 Trial of the Ancestors. In the latest patch, Grinding Gear Games has explicitly stated that they want to no longer offer unique maps for Kirac Explorer's scouting reports. So when you go talk to him in game and you use an Explorer's scouting report, you're no longer going to be offered unique maps. This change directly affects both trade and private leagues, and I'm assuming that there was some targeted nerfs towards some weird interactions with things like Coward's Trial and trade, where you would basically run this map, not complete it, and then buy more scouting reports and fish for Coward's Trial to either get XP or another, like, the divination cards from the other divination map. Whatever the reason they decided to nerf it, they've nerfed it. They've also removed the availability of all temple maps from dropping. The Beastcrafts no longer offer it as an option. It's been changed to a synthesis map option instead. So they're in general limiting these resources, so early on you're going to find it difficult to complete your Atlas fully, and there's a few things that you should be aware of when planning your Atlas. And number one is something that everyone already knows is good, but because of this change, from an SSF player's perspective, it's even better. So Betrayal, with the different areas of the board where you can place your syndicate members, Rin offers unique maps from research, and she offers typically anywhere from 2 to 3. When I've done it, I usually try to force her out and put something else in that would actually be beneficial, but now I'm going to be putting Rin in there, especially early on, to help fill out some of those unique maps. So that's a guaranteed source. A lot of these other sources are not really guaranteed. So with Legion, you obviously have the unique icon, so that's always great. And then I believe they have a map icon as well. No, they have the incubator. So, oh wait, yeah, they do have maps, duh. But the incubators, there's an incubator called Otherworldly Incubator, and that is for maps specifically. So you can get unique maps in multiple different ways from Legion, and Legion's already good, so you're probably going to be doing Legion anyways. And then from Uberlab, the final rooms in Uberlab, they can drop maps, and they can sometimes drop unique maps as well. And then there are some divination cards that can drop from Uberlab. I'm not an Uberlab farmer, so I wouldn't know if any specifically correlate to farming unique maps, but I'd assume that there's probably 1 or 2 in there, because there's always like some weird funky background lore with Azaro and some other mechanic in the game. So with Metamorphs, it has uniques, it has additional uniques, it has maps, so there's multiple different Metamorph rewards, and then you also have the organs, which you can piece together. And then the interesting thing with Metamorphs is that they get so much increased item quantity and rarity that when they do drop maps, sometimes they'll just be unique. So it can happen. And then for Blight, there's both uniques and maps. And I don't know for certain, but I think that the item quantity and rarity would affect the drops from opening the like pods. I don't know for certain. I don't actually do Blight, and I'm considering actually doing Blight in 3.22 just to experiment with it and see how I feel about it. And then Bestiary, or Bestiary, as some people will call it, either way, I don't really care. You have access to creating a unique map, and these create a unique type things, they're fairly common. This one is of the wilds, and it also has one where it just says create a unique item, and this is from the deep. And then this is the create an item Vault Temple map, and that is going to be on Primal Rex Matriarch. It's getting changed to create a unique synthesis map. So if you do the wilds, you'll have an often, like if you utilize the atlas to farm specifically the wilds, you'll have the option to create a unique map, probably every like 4 or 5 maps, depending on how much you actually juice the mechanics and how lucky you get with migrations. And then with the wilds, you also have an option at getting Vault Temple maps. So if you're playing SSF and you want to get Vault Temple maps, this may be a way to acquire a few of them, because it's going to be very limited in comparison to before. And then some honorable mentions would be rituals, expeditions, incursions. But incursions, they don't specifically say unique maps, but they can happen. And then with like ritual and exped, it's more going to be along the lines of like the divination cards, and then when you run things like the actual logbooks, then you actually have like a solid chance at getting something. So that's kind of a brief overview of where you can get unique maps outside of just Kirac, because I know there's a lot of people that are probably just gonna go like, oh, I'm blasting Legion and I don't care about anything else, or I'm gonna go do boss killing or whatever. So be mindful when you are setting up your atlas if you're playing SSF and you want to acquire unique maps to help boost your map completion and get into the higher tiers and sustain yourself a little bit better. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, and if you would like, you can catch my live stream when the league starts, and I will be streaming my own progression, and I'll see you then.